Hey, Brannon Beliso here. It's Friday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the West Coast. Success never sleeps. Success never sleeps. We're broadcasting live where? At Facebook as well as YouTube. So as you come aboard, let me know that you're here. Say hello. Say hello. Say hello. Put your name in the comments. Tell me where you're tuning in from, and you'll be entered into my drawing to win a 30-minute consult with me. With me. So, who's my sponsors? Let's talk about my beautiful, wonderful, amazing sponsors. We have My Studio, simply the most innovative CRM system out there. Updates coming every week, all the time. I can't keep up. I can't keep up, but that is an indication of a great software. Think about how many times your phone gets updated, right? Happens all the time. So for me, I love that about My Studio. They're out there, they're innovative, they're constantly making changes. They're not afraid to take chances. They're not afraid to make mistakes. They're failing forward fast, as we say. Kids love life skills. Kids love life skills. Character development is it. You want to separate yourself from anybody else out there. Anybody else out there. Every child's activity that's going on right now, I'm going to tell you, you need a strong system of life skills and character development. And who do I believe that is? Kids love life skills. And of course, LC Accounting. LC Accounting. My sister Letitia is a great soul. She's a kind soul. She's good at what she does. She's got your back, because I know, because she's had my back forever. And she does martial arts. So she gets us too when it comes to that. Cool. Hey, this is Friday. This is Friday. So as you come aboard, I see a lot of people up there in the corner. Please put your name in the comments. Put your names in the comments and share this live broadcast with as many people as you can. And you're automatically going to be entered into my digital drawing. As those names come in, I think Marco's going to take them. Every time he sees a share happening, show the share in the comments and all that. Marco's going to take it. I know I'm doing this to Marco right now. And he's going to pick a winner for me before the show is over. Come on, I see lots of people coming in. You got to say hi. Say hi. And I want your questions in there too. I know you got lots of questions. I encourage you to please put them in there. Please put them in there. Cool. Um, as we're coming into this, I see a lot of schools are opened. A lot of schools are still shut down. I spoke to my buddies in Germany, and it's what a bummer. I mean, 6 months solid. And the challenge for Germany, for some of them, is you've got people. Hey, what's up, James? You found me today. Thank you, James. Thank you. We have the weather's really bad right now in Germany, so teaching outdoors is not an option. Virtual, it doesn't take as well. People don't seem to like it as much. So they're really, really in a tough spot. And talking to my clients, I can hear it in their voice. And I have nothing but prayers and love for them out there. I remember that situation for us. I can gratefully say California, we have, I don't know, 40% of the people are vaccinated. We have the schools opening back up. They're talking about dropping all the different colored tiers by June 15th, as long as we keep going. My whole team is vaccinated. Can you believe that? My whole team is vaccinated. We're following protocols. Indoor classes, we just opened in Millbrae. So we're about 25% capacity, but that's slow. It's slow. But I can't say that's slow. Last month, we did 37 new students in Millbrae and 27 in San Francisco. So not bad, right? Not bad. But San Francisco, we're still not allowed to open up for indoor classes. But we've pivoted really hard. As I shared, we're running 600 people virtually. We're running another 200 outdoor classes. And then indoors, we're up around 30 or 40 in Millbrae. And so we've pivoted hard into that. We have distance learning camps still running in San Francisco, none in Millbrae, because the majority of kids are back in school. And we had a full spring camp this week, 14 kids at $350 per child. So we're making it all meet. We got the second rounds of the PPP, the forgivable loans. So we're really working hard. And I personally have been working hard and came back to serve my team in the community when this started a year ago. So all those things people have asked me, how is it that you do that? And that's it. That's why we're still standing. And that's why I'm so grateful to God, first of all, and then to just the opportunities that have presented themselves. I think when we talk about that mindset, I'm still going to cultivate that all the time with people. You have to manage your mindset. You have to manage your mindset, because it's very easy to go down a dark rabbit hole during something like this pandemic, right? We know Suicides all time high, addiction all time high, depression all time high, domestic violence. All these things are happening because the mindset simply can't handle it. So, you as a leader, you as a small business owner, I'm going to encourage you to find out what works for you, whether that's meditation, prayer, whatever you need to do, whatever you need to create in your life. So, you wake up every day and you don't just suit up and show up and participate, but you aspire to thrive. Think about that for a moment. So, for my brothers and sisters in Germany, I just want to say, stay strong, stay focused, and keep working at it. My buddies in Canada, same thing. They just got locked down again. My family in the Philippines, they just got locked down again. So we never know what's going to happen. But today, I can graciously say and gratefully say in California that we are moving in a good way. We really are. And that's just, well, I'm so grateful for that. But, we do walk on eggshells and we keep moving forward. And when I'm out there on the weekends teaching outdoors, I'm grateful. And I think that's been a huge part of my mindset. I want to encourage everybody who's listening is cultivate a gratitude mindset. So if I teach one student, I teach them like I'm teaching 100. If I teach 100 students, I teach like I'm teaching one. And if we can do that, I believe it'll improve our retention. We'll become that beacon of hope, that light in the darkness that people are going to flock to and gravitate towards because we need positivity. Look at just most of the media out there. People need positivity. They want to be part of something special. They need that anchor in the storm. And your school and your leadership can really offer that. How's that going to get me 10 new students? That's an obvious question. It will get you 10 students because the 10 that you have are going to go out there like raving fans. I signed up a person yesterday from a new family that's been with us about a month, and I cannot tell you how much they rave about us. But we've made sure that each and every class they come to is like their first class. And that's a mindset. It hangs in our instructor's room and it says it. Treat every student today like it's their first day. Cool. So let me see who's here today. James, Maximum Martial Arts, Pamela. Hey, Pamela from Charlotte. Sensei Mish. Focus Martial Arts. Go ahead and let you know you share this broadcast to be entered in our drawing at the end of the show. Marco's backing up. He's supporting me. Thank you so much, Marco. And again, let us know that you share this. A lot of people sitting up in the corner. I see that eye, but only a few people have said hello. Please join us in this broadcast. You're as much as this broadcast as I am. So your input, letting me know you're here. Let me know I got some cool company. Put your questions down in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. Cool, cool, cool. So let's get into our first question. All right. So, any advice when starting a second location? That's a really, really good question. And I'm going to say that because that's what they tell you to say when somebody asks you a question, right? When somebody asks you a question, Speaker 101, hey, wasn't supposed to do that. Let's do this. There you go. Speaker 101 will say, hey, that's a really good question. It is a good question. The first thing I ask somebody, if they ask me that question, my advice about a second location, the first thing I ask them is why? Why do you want to open a second location? And some will say, well, it's obvious. I want to make more money. I say, well, I know school owners out there right now. One gentleman in particular, Sam On, that owns one school with 100 students. That's all he's ever had for 30 years or plus. And he is a multimillionaire because he takes what he makes from that school and he has invested it consistently and smartly into the stock market. So if you simply want to open up a second school for more money, I would say try to delve a little deeper. I will show my story. We didn't open our second location until 6 years ago. So roughly San Francisco's been there for 21 years. So we waited 15 years because what I chose to do for my value system is I will open a second school if anybody on my team makes the commitment. And I know the difference between, hey, I want to do this to I am committed. So when TJ, who's going to own these schools one day outright when I'm dead and gone, he will because he's earned it. He's offered me that loyalty. He came to me and I used to woo him as a 14, 15-year-old kid. And he was in college working on his AA. And he said to me, hey, I want to do this. And I told him, well, here's our path. I cannot pay you what you deserve with one location. It's not going to happen. I have a certain lifestyle. I make a certain amount of money. And so Howdy from Jacksonville. Hey, what's up? Young Arthur Smith from Jacksonville. Welcome, 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 welcomes. And so I told him we will open this second location, and to show you my commitment to you, I will go into that second location and I will build it. I will build the team. I will build everything. I will teach. I will do birthday parties. I'll do it all. And I did. And we took the second location to $1 million within 3 years. 3 years. And so as we work side by side through this pandemic, that's we can't buy loyalty. You simply cannot. You can't buy somebody with a super work ethic that's willing to give 150%, whether it's cleaning a toilet, teaching a kickboxing class, or taking kids, out to the park and day camp. You can't buy that. So what is that worth to you? What is that worth to you? So that's the first thing is I would encourage you to have a very value-based reason why you're going to open a second location. And we're witnessing this through the pandemic because people are just opening locations left and right. When this pandemic hit, they closed left and right for a lot of these multi-school owners because they're simply money-making machines and they just, cookie cut, cookie cut, cookie cut, hire people not always within their culture and they place them in there. So be mindful of what your why is. And it's a value-based decision to open that second location. Okay. Now, another thing with that, and I really want you to think about this, is the strategy that goes behind it. So, my other advice is please do a business plan. Please do a demographic study. When I speak to a business owner, I ask them, why did you open in this neighborhood? You know what their answer is? It's about 60% of the time. It was close to my house. That would not be, there's certain things I look for in a second location or a third, and that would be how many elementary schools are within a 2-mile radius of your brick and mortar location? How many preschools, right? I need the constant feed. And if I know families live in this community, families make up the majority of the household that are in that community, right? Along with what's the average household income, how many kids live there, all that should be part of that. So in your business plan, you set that up. Another huge element, I'll talk about this with my group mentoring group today, is, do a SWOT analysis. What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses? What are the opportunities? What are the threats in that community? Right? Now we have a new threat. Could be another pandemic, could be another lockdown, right? So I've heard that from another popular guy called The Prophet, and he's working with somebody through this pandemic and they want to expand and they see it as an opportunity. And he said, hey, realistically, I'm going to tell you what I think. You should shore up your existing location first. He says, well, this is really cheap. It's an opportunity. This guy's closing and, he's got all the equipment and blah, blah, blah. And I can take it over for dirt cheap and he needs to get out. He said, again, I'm going to tell you, I don't think your existing business is strong enough. So that's another thing I really want you to think about. Is your existing school strong enough for you to open that second location? And a strong indication that it's not, is when you take the rock star team from the first school, right? And you move them to the second location because they're the ones who could grow it bigger, better, and faster. And then this first location starts to suffer. Has anybody ever been there? Who's ever been there? Put it in there. Those of you with multiple locations. Who's ever had that first location, open the second, move some rock stars over, and then you were in a bad place? The first one started to suffer. Anybody? Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments because I want to know if anybody agrees with me on that. Who else do we have here today? Who else wants to say hello? Let me know that you're there. I see the regulars, but I see lots of people up there in the corner. So keep taking those great notes and please put your questions down in there. Make sure you're sharing this and all that good stuff. All right. So then the next thing, and this has happened. I've worked with school owners who come to me in this panic. They move somebody to the second location and this guy quits. And he doesn't have enough bench strength in place. He does not have enough bench strength in place. So now what does the owner do? Been there. Thank you. Thank you. Maximum Martial Arts, Jim and Connie. Thank you, Jim. And so they don't have enough bench strength. They open the second location. That instructor quits and leaves. So what does the owner do? He's like this. He's at one location and the other, trying to manage two locations. And what happens? They both end up suffering. So when I opened the second location, I did not deplete the team from the first location at all. And we had a pretty deep bench strength. So I opened the second location with a new hiree and myself. We weren't even running front desk at the time. And we scaled up from there. And in the interim, we had a pretty good bench strength. That's why we're always mining. We always want to build that bench strength. What's great about any great sports team, you'll see that the lead guy goes down, the quarterback goes down, that backup is just as good. Wide receivers out, next guy's just as good. So bench strength is real important. And when you cultivate that bench strength, and this is important. Why is this so important when opening a second location? Because this is the product. We deliver martial arts and life skills education, do we not? That's what we do. So if you don't have a great product, right? Great product, the food isn't great unless I have a good chef. So I need a great team delivering curriculum. And that's why I think things are very skewed. We spend so much money on marketing and so very little time and resources on cultivating our teams. Well, really, that's where the gold is in growing that great team in order to deliver the product. So you deplete the first location by moving people over there. They quit, and there you are. There you are. So those are some of the things I know about opening a second location from opening one, as well as working with so many schools that suffer through that, right? Oh, James, I hope you're okay there. James had to call 911. Let us know you're okay, James. He has a situation. I wonder if he has spring camp going on. Hope he's okay. Again, folks, as you're coming aboard, please say hello and go ahead and put in your questions. I would appreciate that very much, very much. So, and then last but not least is I want to make sure budgeting wise, I want to open that second location with as much free rent as I can for the build out, as much fixed rent as I can, without the yearly increases, and decide if my first location, we do it very differently than most people. We run 3,700 square feet because that I can produce $1 million in. That's my goal. My business model is $1 million revenue, about 30 to 35% net after all expenses and taxes. That's where I'm at. That's where I want to be. So I need 3,700 square feet to do that. That may not work for some people. You might have this big school at, say, 5,000 square feet, but then you want to make a smaller school at 1,400 square feet. There's nothing the matter with that. Just make sure the systems are consistent in both locations. The delivery and execution are the same. Cool? And then once you make this great business plan that I spoke of, then you go to the bank. And I say this all the time. Anytime I can use somebody else's money to start a business, I'm going to do it. Think of all the startups in this world. You heard of venture capitalists, angel money. It's out there. It really is. It really is. And, of course, taking an SBA right now, they're so low at 1%, right? But it's still interest. There's a lot of money out there for the small business if you want to tap into that. And if you choose to do that. I know we want to be Dave Ramsey debt free, but this is a very different time. We're in a very different economy. So to be able to take advantage of the PPP, the EIDL, the ERC, and all these different forgivable loans, we have to almost $300,000. And so far, they're all forgivable. Where do you get that opportunity? Ever. The thing is, make sure you use it properly. Whatever the 65% on payroll and the rest on your other expenses. We're very mindful of that. Cool? All right. I know that that's a big question, right? That's a big question. So let me just take a quick break to share with you. I have It's Time Live Change coming up, and that's going to be in November. And again, California is rocking and rolling. I really believe we'll at least be able to facilitate the 20 people for the 4 days. That's my main original goal. And once we fill that up, then I will consider the 2-day option and the 1-day option. But my goal, I think it'd be good for everybody's heart to be able to come out here and spend 4 days refocusing, re-energizing, rejuvenating. And I'm definitely the guy to offer you that. What's neat is I was talking to a couple of school owners, and I know the small school owner can't pay for this all at once. So we're going to work out some payment options, a monthly payment. So right now you can book your flight, you can book your hotel rather cheaply and have something to look forward to. And then make monthly payments on the actual event for the 4-day experience, and then we'll be good to go. So if you're interested in that, and that's something you would like to do, get signed up for It's Time Live Change, the 4-day experience, please personal message me. We'll put you on the list. Right now, we have 3 out of the 20 spots sold, and this is, it's only March. Think about that. Think about that. So with that, I want to add in there. Um, it's such an amazing experience, and for me, I'm very passionate about offering you content, offering you learning that is innovative. So a lot of what I cultivate is from outside our industry. I think the yin to the yang that's very powerful about that is I am you. I am a small school owner in the trenches every day. Again, I wasn't a year ago. I got to be honest. I was working 2 hours a week, touching team, touching, making contact with the team. But overall, I wasn't physically in the business. One of the greatest things that have come out of this pandemic is I've really been able to hone new systems. I've been able to test a lot of this learning I get from Apple, from Gary Vee, Simon Sinek, from all these different social media people that are out there. And I mean big social media people. We can borrow from Disney, we can borrow from Apple. I think the challenge in our industry, because we have lots of information, but we lack the wisdom to have the clarity of what it is we want to do with our business, what it's going to look like in 3 years. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes by with some new sales program, we're hopping all over it. And we spend a lot of money, we get a lot of noise, but we don't get quality leads. And I want to share that with you because I've done it myself. I'm sure we can all raise our hand and say we've been there, right? We've all been there. Is everything okay, James? Just put it in there. Let me know that everything's okay. And so I've done that myself. And I said that to somebody, and I've said it to you many, many times. I don't want leads. I don't want trials. I don't even want students. I want relationships. I love when I can walk into the school and I'm just so happy this person's here, not because they're a student paying me money, but because I walk away from that relationship a better person. I had this little girl yesterday break a board and she lit up like a Christmas tree. I can't buy that. No amount of money is going to pay that for me. So, and if I can have those types of relationships and make money, oh, life is a beautiful thing. So that's what's unique about what we offer you. And I understand when I present my events, I can't just teach you rotating curriculum. I can't just teach you social media. I can't just teach you fundamental business practices. I can't just teach you leadership. If you're going to succeed, you need to own every dot around that 360-degree radius. Think about it. Anybody who's a so-called expert started out some little baby with a poopy diaper. So, don't buy into the hype. I'm an expert. I've been doing this for da 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 da. So what? Social media is changing like this every day, right? Business trends are changing like this every day. Who'd have thunk a year ago, we'd be this online school with 600 students teaching outdoor to 200. All bets are off. So anyone who's trying to tell you they're an expert, I would be very leery of that. None of us are an expert. And who's to tell you there's so many ways to be successful? Nobody has the golden ticket. Nobody's cracked the code. It's just a bunch of hype. So be mindful of that. But what I can offer you is real data. I'm in the trenches every day. I can tell you what anti-static fogger works. I can tell you what camera works because I've tested them. I can tell you what lights to use. I can tell you how to teach, using Manycam or Logi Capture. I punch with my right hand. What are you going to punch with? Your right hand, because see that? I'm using something that facilitates that. I've tested it. And that's what's cool about the people who hang out with me. And you walk away being a better version. Cool? All right. Any questions? Put them in. Put them in, put them in, put them in, put them in. Cool. All right. Let's go to the next one, please. After 20 years in the martial arts, I would like to sell my business. Okay. What is the best way to do this? 20 years in the business. What is the best way to do this? Cool. It likes to do that. I like that. But that's not what I need. This is what I need. So, as Marco says over there, please put in that you shared this live broadcast. Share it with as many people as you can, and preferably small businesses and small schoolers, because that is my passion and my purpose. Share it. And as Marco's sharing, you'll be entered into our digital drawing for a 30-minute consult with me. Cool, cool, cool. So, I think the hard part about selling a business is the valuation. All right. It's the valuation. Now, I know our sweat equity, what we spent in the community, building this business, all those different things. The biggest challenge with most martial arts schools is they are personality driven businesses. And those are very, very, very hard to sell at a reasonable price unless you sell it to somebody who's already working for you. That's different. And if you have a nice transition where you back him, support him, and then maybe stick around and show up for workshops after they've long taken it over and ensure their success, the valuation might be much higher. But if you just go to any businessman and say, I want to sell you this school, I've got 300 students with 300 contracts, you know what he would tell you? Well, I can look at your mats and your mirrors and your physical equipment. That's tangible because if this business folds tomorrow, I can sell that. I can sell your mats, I can sell your mirrors, et cetera, et cetera. There is no guarantee any of those contracts are going to be here past the length of that contract. There's no guarantee. None. Zero. 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 So then what it really becomes, if I want to sell my businesses, I'm going to try to sell it to somebody within my business because it's worth more to them on paper. It just simply is. Now, here's my short story, and I'll try to keep it really short. I remember going to the bank once because I needed a loan to do some remodeling. And I said, I work 60 hours a week. I'm dedicated to my business. I teach 40 hours. I do everything. It's a successful business because I'm a hard worker. Bop, 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 bop. $30,000 line of credit. I'm going, whoa, 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 whoa. That's not right. This business is making $1 million a year. Why would you give me a $30,000 loan line of credit? That doesn't make any sense to me, right? It simply didn't. And let me check here. Thank you, Scott. Scott shared our video. Good. Just checking on Marco, making sure we're good. So I was walked out of the scratch in my head, and I go, I don't get this. I really don't get this. And then lo and behold, when I opened up Millbrae, I came back with it is a business that is systems driven. I only work in the business, about 2-3 hours a week. I have a team with a very deep bench strength, and I take off 3 months during the summer, and it's not dependent upon me being there. Guess how much money they gave me? $300,000. $300,000 to open my second location because what they understood was I got it. I got it. I understood to be a real entrepreneur, I needed to create this business that runs without me. So the valuation of your business, if you're going to sell it, right, as the question you offered me, right, you're going to sell it after 20 years. I would want to know first off, is it a systems driven business? I would ask the owner, how much do you work in that business? And if that owner is telling me that they're working 40, 50 hours a week, I would say it's a personality driven business. It is. And the only person it's going to be worth a lot of money to is your right hand person that the students love. You can pretty much, know how many you're going to leave if you're not teaching, on and on and on. Cool? Cool, cool, cool. So there's a lot of moving parts there. I just want to know, the better question, and I'm going to reach out to this person and call them, is, what it is that they want out of this, right? What it is they want out of this. Because for me, I can't comment to groups and profiles due to Facebook restriction. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So with that said, and that's it. And I know I watch so many school owners going, my school's worth so much more than that. I've put in 30 years. Da, 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 da. And I tell them, but you know what? Once you're gone, so's the personality. You're the driving force. I literally have to rebuild this business because there's no guarantee any of those students are going to be here. And you want to use those contracts, right? You want to use your brand. Brand valuation is a tough one too, right? So I would get an outside neutral person, spend the freaking money for somebody to value that company that you both agree upon. The seller and the buyer. It's no different than having an appraiser come into a home and appraise the home in order to sell it. right? Or the inspector. It's a neutral inspector. So the neutral inspector will inspect that house and tell both parties honestly what needs to happen to this house, whether there's termites or whatever the case may be. It's the same thing here. There are people that value companies, and I would hire somebody to do that and have the seller be very clear. Otherwise, it's all hypothetical. I know you believe your business might be worth this amount, but the God honest truth, the only thing tangible when I walk in are mats, mirrors, pads, computers, things like that. As far as the students, there's no guarantee they're going to stay there. And once you're gone, if it's a personality driven business, even worse. So think about that for a moment. Okay. Really, really think about it. Maximum systems have changed my business and my lifestyle for the better. Highly recommend. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. 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 Cool. Let's take a quick commercial break here. And I want to thank my sponsors once again. Thank you to my studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. Very, very cool people. And I love them. I love all of them. They're good people, and we talk about the quality of life, and that's really what it's about for me. Tule is somebody I love like a brother. My sister Lorraine, my sister Letitia, I love because she's my sister. And then, of course, Kids Love Life Skills. We got Marco and Amy Mazzola, Chris Shangle, my sister and her husband Ben. People that I love, people that I trust and I care about, and that's super important. You can grow anything with that, right? And so, companies I trust dearly. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Let's get into the next question. And go ahead. I see a lot of people sit. Wow, we got lots of people. Thank you. Wow, lots of people watching the show. So everybody's sitting up there in that eye in the sky. I see the number. Please tell us your name. Tell us where you're tuning in from and the name of your school, and share this live broadcast with people. And guess what? You'll be entered into our drawing to win a consultation with me. 30 minutes on the phone might change your whole business. I promise you. All right. And people who are here live, give me some questions. Next question. I have an assistant instructor. Okay. I pay $1 above minimum wage. She is moving to a part time lead instructor. So I assume they're a part time instructor now, assistant. What should I pay her? Any thoughts? Put it in the comments, people. Look at this question, put your thoughts in, then I'll share you mine. I have an assistant instructor. I pay $1 above minimum wage. She is moving to a part time lead instructor. What should I pay her? Anybody have any answers for that? Okay. So for me, here's my thoughts. My first question would be, are they an A instructor? Do they have the potential to run one of our locations? Do you see them as something you want to grow with and have a permanent employee, right? A permanent employee. Do you want that? So that's the first thing. And honestly, if they're an assistant instructor, I would also ask the question, are they in high school or college? Do they know what they want to do? Because if I can groom somebody into my right hand person or my left, like I say, I'm always looking for my second. Because if I can find my second, that's another location. I can find another second, that's another location. And that's the only reason why I would do that. Because as I shared at the top of the broadcast, I'm very big on the Sam On philosophy. And Sam On, who will be here for It's Time Life Change in November, he's one school owner, 100 students, day in and day out. He's a multimillionaire because he took his money and created passive income. And I'm all about that. I love passive income. It's great to go, oh wow, I can open up the stock market right now, right? And just take a look. And I love being honest about this with people. Let's see how the market's doing today. Can we do that together? Let's see. I love startups, so I have money. My money's very diversified, but I do this because I'm you. And there's nothing I don't know that you don't know. Oh, look at that. Let's see. What's that say, everybody? What's that say? How much am I up today? Anybody see that? How much is Brannon up today? Right there, see it? Oh, I'm up $1,900. So while I'm standing here talking to you, I just made $1,900. What is that? A student for 1 year, right? For many of us, that works. That works. That's called passive income. And there's nothing I have that you don't. That's what I'm sharing with you, folks, is that with a little education and some pivoting, you could do a lot. But look at all the questions. I want to open a second location. Da, 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 da. It's so one dimensional. We always have thought in our industry the only way to you know make more money is to open more schools. No way. I open more schools to take care of my team. That's why I would do that. I can make money in many different ways. You see where I'm going with that? So be extremely mindful for that. Okay. So let's get hard into that. Okay. Young is saying the same rate, but possibly some other financial benefit. Okay. The same amount of money. Sensei Mish, the same amount of money. Cool? All right. So if I answered those questions, she's going to be a part-time lead instructor. Does she have the potential to run a location? Is she interested in making martial arts her career? How long has she been you? Does she get your why? And if he answered me yes to all those questions, she's an A instructor. She gets my why. She wants to make this her career, but she's just fresh out of high school, not sure what she wants to do. She's going to go to a community college, right? She's awesome. She has great autonomy. She's self-sufficient. Man, I'd be wooing her. I would be wooing her, wooing her, wooing her. It's not uncommon, you guys, for us anyways, to take a 16-year-old black belt and their parents out to dinner while they're only a sophomore in high school and share with them, if your child went to college locally, you would save this much a year on housing and food and plane trips home for the holidays. And we would also have a job for them that we would work with their school hours. And they'd have enough money saved up in 4 years of college to potentially open their own business or pay off their student loans, or we can open a location for them. And my books are open. I've shared with many of my parents how much money I personally make. And I'm a martial arts instructor. Because that misconception, when they think of martial arts instructor, they think of Rex Kwon Do with the mullet, right? And the red, white, and blue uniform. That's what they think. Or they see one guy in a strip mall that doesn't know anything about business, that works a day job and has this school as a hobby at night. So we need to dispel that myth too. So wooing people is very important. $1 above minimum wage. Okay. Okay. I would not pay them the same though, Sensei Mish, not at all. It's like, I'm going from a cashier to managing the store, right? And you want to pay me the same amount of money? That doesn't make any sense, sir. And I'm going to say that to you. I want you to rethink that. And then some benefits, the same amount of money or more. Or thank you, Sensei Mish. I missed that. I apologize, Sensei Mish. All I read was the same amount of money. Not the same amount of money, but some other financial benefit. Now, I want to talk about that for a minute. I am not big into commission or bonuses for performance. Not at all. I'm going to tell you why. People that work on commission base, it's lame. Think how many salespeople are constantly changing jobs, changing jobs, changing jobs. It's all the time, all the time, all the time. All the time, all the time. How often have you gone, bought something from a salesperson 3 months later? Hey, I'm your new rep. You're my new rep. What happened to the one I just had? I kind of like that guy. Gone, right? Put it in the comment. How many of you have ever bought something from a salesperson and then 3 months later you go to get service or talk about it and they're gone? Anybody? Put it in there. Put it in there. So I think that's one of the huge challenges with that. And I know we want to borrow from the fitness industry all the time. Why? Because they make more money than us. They're a billion-dollar industry, and we're just some little peon in the sea of small businesses. Hey, if I'm going to listen to people who make more money than me, guess what? Some of the richest people in the world are drug dealers. Should I listen to them? I don't think so. So don't let that be the only indicator of why you're going to take their advice. And I believe in many respects, that's why the martial arts has suffered tremendously and why the martial arts is not establishing the niche that it deserves. How many movies do you see about health clubs? Go. I'm waiting. You don't. Cobra Kai, Kung Fu, the new series just came out. The one on Cinemax, Warrior, right? We got the new Mortal Kombat movie coming out. Look at the money UFC makes. But why is it that we as a small business, with all that entertainment value, with all that exposure, still sit here below health clubs? Because we're taking the wrong advice, people. I believe that. I truly believe that. And through this pandemic, one of my commitments and passion is I want to reestablish the martial arts industry, totally rebuild it, reinvent it, and create this real strong business, because you, the small school owner, make up about 90% of our industry. Yet you make the minority of the wealth. That's not cool. That's not cool. And I know that because I sit in the room with the big boys, 2 locations, $2.1 million. That's pretty good money, right? It's pretty good money. So I understand that. And it's really my goal to help change that. And it's got to be different. You need new information, you need new learning. So $1 above minimum wage doesn't cut it for me. I would look at that thing in a whole different way. And if she's an A player and fits everything that I need, he or she, then I'm going to groom them for top dollar. I'm going to move them to a part-time lead instructor. I'm going to make sure they have a system of training in place to empower them and make them better, move them into a position to run a location. I'm going to set, you make this much this month, 3 months later, you make this, 6 months later, you make this, 1 year later, you make this, all of it. All of it. But I see the big things. We always want to simply say, well, when we get 10 more students, I'll pay you this. When we get 30, and I've sang that song too. It's my job to get the students. Your job is to teach better and better each day. Your job is to serve better every day. No, I want you to be a salesperson. Like in the fitness industry, I have a really good friend who I love dearly. And at the end of every month, she's one of my kickboxing instructors. Pre-pandemic, at the end of every month, she disappears. She's got to make her quota. Quota says nothing about people. Quota says nothing about relationships. Quotas, I got to make quotas. So I would stay away from performance-based pay. I would stay away from bonuses. If we get X number of students, I would avoid all of that. Spend your money on cultivating your team, creating a company that people want to work for. You should be having people going to you. How can I make this my living? I really love this. This is a great company to work for. How do I move up in this company? How can I be a bigger part of it? That's what you should be getting. Not somebody that comes to you, sir, you know, you upgraded me to leadership and I now pay you, my family's paying you another $150 a month. And sir, I'm teaching for free every weekend. I know you say it's part of my leadership development, but sir, I've been teaching for free for months and months and months. And, you know, you gave me a pair of nunchucks. That stuff's got to stop. You feel me? Who's with me on that? And I say that because I've been there. I've been that kid teaching for free and paying for all this other stuff, right? The industry has a stigma of the humble instructor who isn't supposed to make money. Yeah, it does. It does. And I believe me, because I'm out there pounding the pavement. I'm on my soapbox campaigning. And these guys are telling me, well, if you make money, your art sucks. Who said that? Right? Because we've witnessed it. We have the martial artists. Guy works a day job, has great pension and all that. He's running a club. He has a hobby. If you have less than 100 students, it's a freaking hobby in my book. And that's just my interpretation. All right? It's a hobby. And so it's easy for you to say, well, you need to kick the white belt's butt on the first night and you got to teach him to, kill somebody because you're not teaching self-defense and yada, yada, yada. Yeah. You got a pension and medical and a day job. Sure. Okay. That's fine. You have a hobby. And then on the flip side, we saw it when it happened in the 80s. You know, in the 80s when all these people saw, oh, Karate Kid's big. Oh, wow. This is something we could make a lot of money on. And salespeople always do that. Salespeople come in and destroy things because it's all about numbers. It's all about simply making money. It's all about closing the deal. So when I entered 21 years ago, I said, this business model sucks. So I created a new business model. No contracts, upgrades, belt fees, subscription based, month to month, no 30-day cancel. People thought I was freaking nuts. Lo and behold, $2.1 million, two locations. Okay, works for me. It works for me. So I want to be very mindful of that. So if you're asking me, how much do you pay up an instructor moving from part time to lead? That's the wrong question. My question is this an A player? Is this somebody that wants to work for your great company? And do you have a company that people want to work for? Right? Because I believe great martial artists should make a lot of money. I truly believe that. Great teachers should make a lot of money. And some do at the professor level and some of these universities and stuff. Oh, they make money and they sit on boards and everything. Right? Think of a brilliant mind like Stephen Hawkins, who wrote books and all those other things. Think of some of these brilliant minds, and they make a lot of money, a lot of money, a lot of money. And I think I make good money. And remember, I started martial arts in 1967. I know what real martial arts are. I sit here to this day with floaters in one eye because I've been busted up so many times. I have TMJ because my jaw goes like this off to one freaking side from getting hit too many times because I'm a lefty and I throw that left, boom, they come over on the right. And I get all that. I get all that. But what I'm sharing with you is if you can educate yourself from white to black belt in the martial arts, educate yourself from white to black belt in business, white to black belt in investment, white to black belt in leadership, white to black belt in social media, white to black belt in marketing. You should. That way you're never, at the mercy of some guru out there, some mentor who's going to tell you, here's my program, do it. Oh, you didn't do it well. You got to upgrade to my mega mastermind program. Oh, that didn't work? Well, guess what? I got the platinum program. And it's your own damn fault. I'm going to call you out on that because you don't want to educate yourself. And that's the key to empowerment. Cool? Yeah, stop exploiting your black belt. Stop it. Stop it. That's why they leave you, open up down the street, and take half your students. Think about that. I'm about taking care of my people. And Richard Branson said that really well. He owned Virgin Airlines and Virgin Records and all that. He said, you know what? I take care of my team better than my customers. And people looked at him and, what? He said, because if I take care of my team, they will take care of the customers better. And I'm all about that. I really, really am. But for me, it's a little different. I take care of my team like I take care of my customers. They're both a value. And if you want to devalue your team, like in that silly movie Fast Time at Ridgemont High, where the guy was working the fast food job and the customer was a total weenie, and then the manager fired him, you know, I wouldn't have. You got to back up your team. And if you train them right, if you hire them right, and you pay them right, and they're loyal to you, and you see them as a long term employee, then back them up. Back up your systems, back up your culture, do those things. Cool? I know that's a little bit of a rant, but I want you to know that. I really want you to know that great people should make great money. They go hand in hand, but you got to get the knowledge that goes with that. Cool? Yeah, thank you, Pamela. I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. All right, let me move this a question out. Let's see, what's another question I have? Let me take this out. And if you have a question, please put it in. We're doing really good on time. I actually got 2 questions here you left. All right, and it's so weird. All these questions I were getting was all about business. So what is better, hourly or salary, and why? Hourly and salary, and why? Okay, I'm going to tell you from firsthand experience, my own firsthand experience, okay, that rock stars I would put on salary. People that you trust, people that go the extra mile, people that work hard, but cap that. Say, hey, some weeks you might work 30, some weeks you might work 45 at the most. Anything beyond that 45, here's additional pay. What I don't like about the salary stigma is that there are people out there doing 70, 80 hours resenting the company because they chose salary. Because the benefit of salary is I consistently count on the same amount of money. And if I have a mortgage and all these other things, I can plan my budget better. The challenge with hourly or 1099, do not 1099 people, not in our industry anymore. You really want to never build a loyal tribe or team, 1099 everybody, please. And you have this revolving door of employees, revolving door, revolving door. And we are still a small company, yet we have a 401k safe harbor pension program. You put money into it, I put 3% up of your salary all day, every day. I have no challenge with that. We have vacation with pay for our salaried people. We have sick leave, of course. And then we have, what else? Medical allowance, right? We're not required to offer medical, to everybody. But what we do with the key people on salary, we pay for their medical. And we call it a medical allowance. It's not part of their salary. This portion we're paying you is for your medical. And because if you create the company that people want to work for, you're better off. Now, those people that are chronically late, the people that, you start, and I wouldn't start anybody out on salary that's coming to me. I would put you on hourly because I want to see your performance. Hourly is to monitor people that, how can I say that? Yeah, people that aren't on that level. Because I get it with the millennials, they want autonomy. They really do. So if you do what you need to get done and the clients are happy, I'm fine. My guy TJ, he plans his own vacations. He takes time off. Sometimes, we don't have it set. We really don't. And if he takes more vacation than we agreed upon, guess what? He makes up for the hours beforehand. He does all because he's that type of person. There you go. I mean, that's just worth so much money to me, especially in our industry because there's so much exploitation of black belts and vice versa. There's just a lot of strange birds, right? And you got to be very mindful of that. And I've gone through that with several employees, that type of behavior. So hourly is really to monitor people better. You don't work, you don't get paid, right? Salary people are the people that are on point, that get it, that just freaking get it. And I love that with a company like Facebook where you don't even have to clock in or clock out. Oh, that's so cool, right? You make your meetings, you finish your projects on time and all that. I don't care when you're here. I don't care when you clock in and clock out. But janitors, security, things like that at Facebook, they all clock in and clock out. Think about that. Think about that. So that's my take on that. James, going to have to watch the replay. There was the one with Mark Wahlberg and The Rock. What's that in reference to, sir? I'm not sure. Anyways, there's a question there. What platform do you prefer to teach online? YouTube? No. We teach through Zoom. We have a virtual landing page. If you go to onemartialarts.com, take a look at it. It's the virtual learning page, blue menu tab up in the right-hand corner. That's our landing page. And every class we offer is through Zoom. We love Zoom because we have breakout rooms, highlight and spotlight, all those different things. So Zoom has been the platform for us up to this point. So we're using Zoom. Absolutely. Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Cool. So we're just about out of time. We got about 5 minutes. I hope you've shared this with everybody. Have you shared this? Have you shared this? Have you shared this? Cool, cool, cool. I just want to remind you that all my social media, you can find me. Boom. You can find me everywhere. My social content's at YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, groups and networks. The Disruptor Facebook group, if you're not part of that, join that group, please. It's a powerful group. And it has, if who's ever looked in the files, there's hundreds and thousands of dollars of documentation, staff training, things like that I've personally cultivated. Letitia's put all kinds of stuff in there, on the back end of your business. And of course, our It's Time Mentoring private group. And if you're part of my mentoring group, it's a very unique experience. We meet twice a month at Zoom. I go through so many different things from a leader mindset to how to define your values, creating your brand, rotating curriculum, leadership, all the different elements over 12 months that I believe everybody needs to run a successful business. Cool? And then, of course, my events, It's Time Live is coming up, right? We're going to have that in November. It's Time Live Change. change. November 13th through 16th. As I shared, for the small school owner on a fixed budget, we're going to offer a payment plan in the next week or so. So you can book your hotel now, you can book your airfare and manage this so that you can spend 4 days. I'm dedicated to the 4 day experience. I'm not sure if we're going to do the 2 day or the 1 day. Somebody asked me that yesterday because I'm thinking that for the 4 day, I want to start with that. And if the way the climate is offers us that opportunity, then I promise you we'll be able to give you that as well. Cool. What else do we have coming up? Of course, this Sunday, we have Everything Kids Love Life Skills. Marco will post the link for you right there if you're interested in that. It's all about kids love life skills, but it's really about how to work life skills into your school and make sure that you are the life skills education leader in your community. It will be a Zoom event free to the martial arts community, Sunday, April 11th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You definitely want to be there. We've had Kids Love Life Skills for about a decade. I created that because I saw over a decade ago that life skills was really instrumental in separating us from any other child's activity out there. The thing with that, I'm going to share this passionately. The thing about that is you cannot just simply paint discipline up on the wall and assume you teach discipline. I remember having this conversation with my dad many years ago, and he says, "Well, if you kick 1,000 times, you have discipline." I said, "No, you don't, Dad. You have a really good kick. A really good kick. That doesn't mean you're disciplined. Discipline is a life skill that you must teach here. The body manifests it and cultivates it, but it must be taught here." So, Kids of Life Skills is in schools all over the world. And it's very unique because I'm very passionate about culture. And if you create a culture of life skills education, then you have a tribe that's going to go out there and rave about you, rave about you. So, join us Sunday for that event. Everything Kids Love Life Skills. Sunday, April 11th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time until we're going to go to about 1 o'clock, I believe. I believe. All right, Marco. Let's get down to it. Do we have a winner? Who's our winner for the 30-minute phone call with Brannon? And I love it. I had a bunch of them this week, and it's been so cool. So if you shared this and you did all that good stuff, Marco's got you entered into a drawing. He's going to post it in the comments for us who our winner is. And while we wait for that, I just want to tell everybody, I know it's hard still. I have people in the Philippines are completely closed. Germany is completely closed. Cases are rising. Michigan's up 77%. And it's been a rough time. And none of us are out of the woods yet. None of us. So when I see people just posting their numbers thinking it's happening, be very careful. In many communities, what I'm witnessing is all that's available is the martial arts because they're not completely open. Hey, so our winner is Scott. Scott, are you here? Scott Rempfer. Scott, you are the winner. Disruptors, give him some love. Scott is the winner of today's 30-minute conversation with me. It's a cool consult. So, what I want you to be mindful of, and I'm going to leave you with this today, is you are witnessing a phenomena. All these people are coming into schools. All these people, because there is no soccer, swimming, gymnastics. They can't go on vacation. They're not comfortable with that. But be ever mindful as soon as that door opens for their outdoor sports and everything else, and that starts happening, you're going to watch the mass exodus. As quickly as they came into your school, they're going to leave just as quickly. You are just the only option right now, unless you do everything you can to take the flood of students coming in and cultivate relationships, creating the Disney experience in your business. If you can do that, then you're closing that back door. But I see it, even schools that still need a lot of work, that normally would never have these many students coming through their door. They're going to leave just as quick because you still don't have the fundamentals, the Disney experience of great curriculum and the experience of learning it, the team, the culture, the why, all those things that makes a person say, hey, I want a relationship with you. that make them say, hey, I want to be part of this tribe? Do you have that? Right now, what I'm witnessing, and I see there's a lot of schools that are going, yeah, come on in, uniform, come on in, uniform. Yeah, come on, keep them coming, tie that belt, uniform, uniform. But they're not looking here. They're not paying attention to what's really going on the floor. They don't have things in place to nurture these relationships because they're too busy doing what? Come on in the door. Yeah, all right, another one. Get another uniform. Yeah, new student, right? Think about that. I really, really want you to think about that. Cool? Because that's so important for me when I work with people that when they ask me how to get 10 new students, for me, that's the wrong question. The question should be, how do I keep the 10 that I have? How do I keep the 10 that I have? That's really where I would spend the majority of my time, my effort, and my focus. Cool? All right. Hey, I want to say I am Brannon Beliso. I want to thank everybody for being here today. Thank you, Marco, for backing me up over there. We're just 1 minute over, but it's been an amazing, amazing show today. I want to thank you. Hopefully, we'll see everybody this Sunday. Will I see everybody this Sunday? Come join us. It's a free event. Marco, did you post the link in there? If not, we'll make sure to post it everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. For Everything Kids Love Life Skills, Sunday, April 11th, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Cool, cool, cool. And my group mentoring, I'll see everybody at 12:30, okay? Everybody in my group mentoring, I'll see you at 12:30. Make sure that you are there. Folks, I am Brannon Beliso. Thank you to my studio, Kids Love Life Skills, LC Accounting. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Find me at LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest. Pinterest, I got a lot of great stuff you can download, motivational posters and stuff that you're welcome to enjoy. Join our disruptor group. Think about our mentoring. For everything else, go to brannonbeliso.com. Until we talk again, please, you go out there, live your best life. Whew.